Kirk Cousins. There has been, according to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, an artificial deadline set for this upcoming week around the scouting combine, when there's a lot of times for teams to talk to agents and to figure out situations for specific players before free agency opens. There is a spot now where they're trying to figure out what the heck to do with Kirk Cousins. He has $27.5 million guaranteed for this upcoming year. Nice. So he's already on the books. He's already going to get paid. But there's certain abilities here to try and figure out, do you want to cut him by the time he gets the $10 million roster bonus? All of that crap. We've already seen a franchise try to work around a stupid extension they gave to a quarterback once with what the Broncos did with Russell Wilson, where they just cut him, they ate the money, they had a rookie quarterback, and they're slowly starting to wait for the thing to die off.
Yeah.
One, do you try to make, let's start with this first. Do you try to make Kirk Cousins suffer for his sins? Do you try to just make him sit there and just suffer? Because, hey, man, we're not going to, if we're paying you $27.5 million, if we're paying you all this money, we're getting our money's worth. You're going to be a coach, basically. Yeah. You're going to be the highest paid coach in the NFL. We're getting something out of you. Or do you go with, and I got asked this on Atlanta radio the other night, do you just cut him? Do you just get rid of him because that's what already has worked with Russell Wilson and go let him be a free bird and maybe figure something else out elsewhere? I'd be kind of pissed paying for someone else to get a starting quarterback.
The smart move would probably just be cut the drama, cut the locker room, any type of irritation there, and eat the money in a couple years now that they have their quarterback and Michael Penix Jr., who I do think will be their quarterback of the future. You won't even be thinking about Kirk Cousins. It'll be a blip on the radar. Smart move. The fan in me, I want to see Kirk Cousins holding that clipboard.
Oh, so you're a dick. You're just being a dick.
I want him handing that Gatorade right on over to Michael. Hey, you thirsty? You thirsty, MP9? I got you. You're looking smooth, brother. Way to be. I want him to be a positive influence on the team. I want him to know he got beat.
You don't think that he wouldn't be pissed off as all hell about this?
He'd hide it because it's Kirk Cousins. It's laughing, smiling,
true.
Swag surfing Kirk Cousins.
He is the definition of the Midwest. He couldn't be.
I want him to sit and remember and have to think about the way he concealed injury. I want him to think about the way he lied to team, media, and teammates. He should be punished by sitting in Atlanta.
This is a little bit of a conspiracy, and I probably shouldn't expect anything less from you. But you got to get your money's worth out of him.
Yeah.
So that stupid minivan that he drives, he's got to pick up Michael Penix every single day. I want him picking up Michael Penix every single morning. You're also his chauffeur.
Here's the thing. They already carpooled together before this. Because I guess they live close enough together in the A. Why not?
Whose idea do you think that was? Do you think it was Michael's or do you think it was Kirk's?
I think it was probably Kirk's when Kirk was on top of the world, starting QB, getting paid a bunch of money. And
yeah, but he was still pissed off about the fact that they drafted.
Oh, boo-hoo! God, get as pissed as you want. You were gonna get booted from Minnesota anyways. You could have been in a worse place. They could have shipped you off to somewhere north that needed a quarterback, somewhere cold. You were playing in a dome. You had the love for the city. Then you threw.
Wait, that's a very small list. That's like a list of Cleveland?
They could have sent him to Cleveland. They could have sent him to the I guess the Jets still had Rodgers last season.
Yeah.
They could have sent him somewhere way worse than Atlanta, a franchise that was so thirsty, desperate for that quarterback water to rehydrate them and get something going. He had a couple really good games. And then they turned on him, Joe. You know why? He gave him a reason. He gave me a reason. I was in here. You heard me behind that wall right there.
I've heard plenty of times.
Cheering, and when they beat Philly and they had to walk off against Tampa, over the moon. And then you get hurt in week 10, and you throw 2 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, and everyone's just wondering what the hell is going on. He can't find Kyle Pitts. He can't deliver the ball. No, he has to be punished in some way. He can't just keep on coasting, making hundreds of millions of dollars.
Who can't help the fact that his body is slowly deteriorating because he's at the end of his career.
You know what you did to me this past week, right?
What?
You let me know you were sick. You said even if you didn't explicitly,
Well, I
You
said
were
thanks for
sniffling.
getting me sick. I blamed you for it.
Oh, I should not. I should not have
incredulously.
received an ounce of blame for that, as I am.
Nah, you just be picking up shit. I don't know where you're just scraping in germs.
No. I'm gloved up all the time, hand sand all the time. I'm basically walking around with a mask on. I anti-germ Sean Anderson.
I didn't know that you're still pro mask.
The way that I'm handling
2025?
myself on these PATH trains.
Big mask guy over here.
These new. Have you been on these Newport PATH trains? Oh, sardines every time, and it's like I was sitting
and you're wearing a mask.
Whole line of seats next to me. A couple weeks ago, gentleman probably about 250 pounds sits right next to me on the seat.
By the way, for our listeners, that's smaller than Sean.
Yes, between me on the end seat with the nice little glass railing, him on the pole in between there. So we're just jammed in. Was it worth it, pal? I bet it wasn't. How did we get here? What am I talking about?
I don't know what you were talking about.
I hate Kirk Cousins. Yeah.
Okay.
He should be punished for his sins eternally.
The other question here is it's been thrown out there, and Jeremy Fowler suggested this. Him ending up with the New York Jets. I feel like that's not a solution. That doesn't seriously. That
solves
doesn't
my problems.
Well, it solves getting rid of him.
Watching him get absolutely obliterated in the backfield.
Well, I would argue. Well, they have a better offensive line than what Atlanta has.
You want to go back and look at some of the shots that Aaron Rodgers took last year?
Well, I think that had a little bit more to do.
Oh,
with
they
the
do not
team
have a
being-
better offensive line than Atlanta does.
They
Are you
will.
kidding me?
They will have a better offensive line.
No, they will.
No, I
not.
trust Olu Fashanu. I think he's gonna once
You trust
he starts
him more than 13-year vet Jake Matthews? How about Caleb McGarry? Big
old.
stupid fat ass Caleb McGarry on the right side falling down. Chris Lindstrom's the best guard in the league.
To outside of that point that you're making, that you want to watch him get beat the hell up. I don't think that's the move for the Jets, because you're just coming off of guy that suffered an Achilles injury that didn't have an ounce of the same level of dynamic playmaking that he once had.
Yeah.
Why would I bring in a guy that even at full health is nowhere near as impactful as the original player, but is also coming off of an Achilles injury? These Achilles injuries, they're career killers. Like, seriously, it's one of the hardest injuries to come back from. I implore anybody to tell me who has actually come back from an Achilles injury that has had a long, successful career. A lot of guys suffer these, and it's donezo. So why would that be the move? If you're the Jets, it's got to be start from scratch. And also, if you're Kirk Cousins, I wouldn't sign up for that, because at some point, they're just going to find your replacement.
I think they would have as a replacement on roster already. Give Jordan Travis a shot before you give Kirk Cousins a shot. Honest to God. I saw him win more games recently than I have Kirk Cousins. And the Jets are going to have to pull in some sorry-ass vet quarterback this year. Or, honestly, they're starting Jordan Travis, because they're not going to win this year. They're not going to be competitive this year. It's going to be a full reset, and everyone knows it. Those meetings with the GM have to be, are you going to be here for 2 years? Do you want to be here for 2 years? Because this first one's going to be rough. We don't know who's going to be throwing the ball. Defense is probably going to get better with Glenn. Maybe we actually get back to running the ball and use our weapons. But it's still going to be rough. We're going to miss the playoffs. We're probably going to have 6 wins max. That's the ceiling. What is that pitch to any guys that want to come to New York?
Right. Kirk's probably the only desperate idiot that's like, hey, I need one more shot to see if I can do anything before I hang it up and I call it a career.
God, I love the retrospect game, because I don't know who is worse genuinely, Aaron Rodgers or the Jets as a whole. I can't really determine it, because it
was the perfect combination of two miserable entities coming together.
Yeah. I just, on one hand, it's Aaron Rodgers, and we saw how great he was. And on the other hand, it's the Jets, and they've both become awful weirdos. They combined, and they torched it for the next couple years.
Well, hopefully Kirk does end up in New York, and that we can go watch him play. We can watch your favorite player suit up and play one more time.
I'll sneak a catfish in my pants like they do at hockey games.
Oh, so you can throw it at him?
Yeah. I'll be sitting at 300, walk down to section 100, launch that big horsey at his back. That'd be awesome.